States. We only actually met this week, and I had the opportunity to jump in a chat with her. She's so high energy, like a great story, and again, really, really excited for you to hear from her. I actually reached out to her upline because it's kind of always nice to hear what other people say about those people. You get a vibe, and again, what I would say as well off the back of this call, everybody, is that go and have a look on Laura's and Donna's and Holly's profile, and you'll see how they're actually dialing in with this business right now and how they're making it work, just showing up as their authentic selves, and it's just infectious. Their energy is infectious. But when I reached out to Holly's upline and said, how would you describe Holly? And she said, oh my, she said she knows what she wants. She's driven. She's made, since she knew like she's coming to Madare, she made a plan and she's gone all in. You're going to hear her energy on in this call right now. Holly, are you here, lovely?
Hey, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Yes, tech is good. We've nailed this, Holly. We're all good. So, if you could just come in again, to share your story, a background about you, what brought you to Madare, and share all the goods.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, you guys, for inviting me on this call. It's so exciting listening to everybody's story, and just like you said, the energy here is so contagious. And the culture at Modare is off the charts. That's probably one of my favorite things about Modare is the culture. Next would be the products. But before I go all there, let me give you a little brief rundown of my background, who I am, where I'm from. So I have been married for 22 years to my very best friend. We gave our hearts to the Lord at a little barn at a cowboy church about 21 years ago, and life has been completely different ever since. At the time, I was a single mom, so I was a bad kid. I was a really bad teenager, and I was a teen mom at 16. I had my daughter. So when I met my husband, she was 9, and we went on to get married, and we had a son together, and now our children are grown, and my daughter has 6 little grands, so I got 6 little grand critters, and we became empty nesters a couple of years ago. Life has just been super wild, really incredible, the people that I've met so far just along the way. It's been such a huge blessing. 2020, let me go to 2020 really quick before I tell you how I fell back into Modare. 2020 was the year from hell for me. Just be frank. It was crazy. You had COVID that hit, and it seemed like everything that could shake me shook me in 2020. And I'll try not to get emotional about it because it was so hard. I went into early menopause when I was 42 because I had a partial hysterectomy where they took my uterus, but they left my ovaries. My ovaries were in great shape, thank God. So they left those, but they had to take my uterus, and it threw me into early menopause, but it didn't hit me really, really hard until 2020. That's when I think everything hit, and life for me just went upside down. And unfortunately, that's when I was first introduced to Modare. I was all over the place, but I had a very beautiful person pour into me, and she was, and I'm just going to tell you guys right now, some of the things that I got from Modare back in 2020, even though I didn't stay in Modare in 2020, like I said, my life was all over the place. It was just the wrong timing. There were things that I took with me into life that I walked away from Modare with at that time. And Michelle Barnes really poured into me, and there were things that I was able to take with me. So fast forward to the beginning of this year, I had dropped almost 60 pounds, and that was from weight gain that I had gained back in 2020 from all of the stress of the hormones and just everything that was happening. And I had dropped almost 60 pounds. I had 10 pounds left to go. And then menopause, right? I'm post-menopause. And with menopause, for those of you who aren't there yet, or for those of you who don't know, it comes and goes in waves. you'll be coasting along doing just fine, and then all of a sudden, wham, it hits you right up the side of your head, and you're just like, whoa, what happened? Everything goes crazy. And that's kind of what happened. I lost the weight, and then I had 10 pounds to go. Life got crazy. Menopause came back, hit me upside the head, and instead of the scale going down, it started to go up the other direction. And I was getting a little concerned because everything that I did to lose the weight at the beginning of the year, it wasn't working now, and I was really stressed out. Cortisol levels were rising again. I wasn't sleeping. I was really stressed, and I went on to TikTok. I was looking for videos on menopause, and I came across Michelle Simpson, and I have since hashtagged her Barbie Boss because she is this beautiful 61-year-old. I couldn't freaking believe it when she was talking about that on TikTok. She was talking about her age, and I was like, there is no way this woman is 61. She looks like a freaking Barbie doll. She looks gorgeous. And she was talking about all these things, giving tips on menopause. And I literally was like, I don't know what that woman is doing, but I need to find out. And so I reached out to her, and she reached back out to me. And we ended up getting on the phone. And I just said, what are you doing? You look amazing. What is it that you're doing? And I'm going to do anything that you tell me. So I'm like, be very specific. I'm taking notes. And so she started telling me exactly what she was doing. I wrote it down, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, because she went into some of the products that she was taking that were helping her. And I had just been talking to my husband a few weeks before this, and I'm like, I think I need to supplement. I think I need something that I'm not getting in my diet. So when she started rattling off this supplement stack that she was taking, and she mentioned Modere, I was like, oh, my gosh, you're kidding me. It's Modere. And she said, yeah, and she started talking about the 5-day drop and their menopause line and the lean body system, and I was like, whoa, it was blowing my mind because back in 2020, they didn't have the 5-day drop and they didn't have the menopause line. They did have the lean body system, but I was so all over the place. I had so much going on that I couldn't even follow a system if I tried. So I thought, okay, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I signed back up. She walked me through the 5-day drop. I followed it exactly how it was laid out, and she rode me. She was like in my messenger. She was like, what did you do today? What are you doing? Nope, don't do that. Do this. Like, she rode me so hard, and I'm so thankful to her for that because I literally was able to put the system to the test and see what it was really going to do for me because I was stuck. Like, I could not get my weight to budge. My hormones were all over the place. I was really struggling. And going through that 5-day drop really helped me dial in on what was going on and correct a lot of things that were thrown off. And in 5 days, I dropped 9.8 pounds. I went down 8 inches. And I just was like, I'm going to share my journey on Facebook because it will really help keep me held accountable. I did not realize that it was going to blow up the way it did. But it did. It has blown up, and coming off of that 5-day drop, I can't even tell you guys how much better I feel coming off the 5-day drop. So the 9.8 pounds is pretty jaw-dropping. The 8 inches, wow, holy cow, like this system is incredible. But it's how I felt coming off of it and going into the lean day body, or not the lean day, but the lean body system. My body is responding to these nutrients like it never has with anything before. I feel so good. My energy is high. I'm sleeping better. I got off, I had a really bad caffeine addiction. I got off of that. Like, all these amazing things have happened since then, and I've been able to help people who are like, I'm getting messages, Holly, what in the world are you doing? Like, help. So I've been able to help some of my really good friends, and that has been so exciting for me, is just to help people who are stuck, how to get unstuck. And that has just been, honestly, like the biggest reward. And it's such a blessing to be back with Modere, the culture, the products, the back office. I mean, just everything about it. I have an incredible upline. I just feel absolutely blessed to be here.
Oh, Holly, I love your story. And honestly, like, how have you got 6 grandkids? Like, you look phenomenal as well. It's just so good. So what's your background then prior to doing this, do you do other things as well as Modere, or is this like your key focus? Like, what else have you got going on?
Oh, God. Okay, thank you. So, oh, my goodness. So I have a background in the beauty industry, and I've been in, hair and nails, and then I spent some time in real estate. And when we became empty nesters, my husband, we have a trucking company, and he talked me into getting my CDL. And we were going to go and drive together and just go travel the world. And we did that, but it was super stressful for me because he hauls like a tanker with chemicals. And it was just too much for me. I was just like, So I said, you know what, I need to go home and do something locally. So I came home and got a dump truck driving job, and I absolutely loved it. In fact, if you scroll on my Facebook, you'll run into some pictures of me driving a dump truck around. I literally was going from sandbox to sandbox, picking up dirt and gravel and taking it to another place and dumping it. It was the best. I didn't stay with it for a long, long time because the company that I was working for, they were great guys, great company. I had so much fun, but the truck I was driving kept breaking down all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be hauling all of this stuff and it breaking down. So I decided that I was just going to kind of step away from that for a while and maybe, figure out, maybe do an online business of some sort. And so I was actually in the middle of learning how to create digital products online when I fell back into Modere. Totally unexpected. I did not expect for this to blow up as a business, but that's what it did, and that's where we are. So
yeah, you jumped on the ride and you're going with the roller coaster now. But isn't it exciting? Like, and you think actually, like, the path was probably meant to cross again. Like, it was about life timing, and I'm all about life timing. So I don't know if you caught this, guys, as well, but the part about 2020, life wasn't going so well for you, but Michelle Barnes poured into you. And again, this speaks volume of the leadership that we've got here. Just the leadership is just pure quality. And so they leave you with such a good lasting impression that it didn't matter that, like, at that point maybe things weren't working out for you, but you came back to fire, and that always left that good part. And so when you're looking on TikTok and you saw Modere, it just made sense, and you were always meant to come back. You're always meant to come back. So, because sometimes life doesn't work out how we want, does it? Like, sometimes, like, I've had a rocky couple of years. The last 2 years have not been my favorite by any means, but stay connected with the people that you can as much as possible. And again, use those, like, there's so many lessons, isn't there, like, you can take from, and John always says, it's like, this program is like personal development program with commission attached to it. You can learn so much and apply it into a ripple effect with your family, and then if you've got a job, and again in your relationships, and so many things. I never done personal development before I started here. I don't even know what it was, to be honest. I was one of those people, but it wasn't that I was ignorant to it. I just didn't know. Nobody had ever shown me. It's not something that you cover in an employed role generally, is it? So I love your story, Holly. And so you've lost 9.8 pounds with the 5-day drop, and you just look phenomenal. So how are you feeling now then, in comparison to how you felt, say, before you got started on the 5-day drop, and then you've done it now and you're on the lean body system? Like, tell us how you're feeling.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So real quick, I want to go back. When I left Modere, I felt in my spirit, like the very middle of me, I felt like I would return, and I can't explain how or why, but I always felt that lingering in the back part of me. So when I fell back, onto Modere through TikTok with Michelle Simpson, it lit me up. It lit me up. It lit a fire that I thought was completely out, because Modere they left such a lasting impression. Like, I would watch John and Nadia Melton, and I love Nadia's saying how, I may not be everybody's, cup of tea. I might be somebody's shot of vodka, and that's okay. Like, there are so many really cool things that were left in my spirit when I left Modere that I took with me. So coming back, it was, absolutely welcoming in my heart, because there were so many things that I took with me that I actually used in life outside of network marketing that I got from Modere. You know, I used to binge watch the twins, Kylie and Casey, and now they're like my upline, and I feel so absolutely blessed to be with these people and in this culture. And Modere has such an incredible system to follow. So it's so easy to plug in and just follow the system. So one of the things that I learned about more than anything with the 5-day drop was don't try and reinvent the wheel. Like anytime I did anything in the past, I always would try and tweak it, right? I was always trying to tweak it or doing little things. Well, I don't like this, so I'm going to do this instead. Or I'm going to maybe do a little bit of this or a little bit of that. This time I was like, no, I'm going to follow it exactly the way it's laid out, because I want to see if this was a me problem, right? Like I need to know if it was just me not following the system the way it needed to be followed. And I did. I followed the system. And before I was struggling with, I couldn't sleep. Like I would get up in the middle of the night sometimes and just, I would almost go out in the living room and just curl up in a ball on the couch and cry because I couldn't go back to sleep. And I used to never have that problem before menopause. I could sleep through the night. I could crawl up. My husband used to joke. He used to tell people, yeah, my wife could crawl up on the stove, give her a pillow, she'll go to sleep. And I would. But now, no, it was crazy. Like I couldn't sleep through the night. I would just toss and turn. I couldn't sleep. I was really, really moody. My hormones were up and down. There were times I would just fall into these funky places of depression, and I didn't know why, and I just started feeling helpless because I just couldn't, it was like I couldn't get myself back on track. No matter what I did, nothing was working that was previously working. So once I got on the 5-day drop, I literally, it helped me get off the sugar. It helped me get better sleep, my energy, my mood. Like I said, I was able to kick the caffeine habit. The junk food cravings went away. I wasn't hungry anymore. My bloat started to go away. The inflammation in my hands and my face went way down. If you go and look on my Facebook page, that was so hard to post those pictures because I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm doing this. But you know what? I needed to do it. I needed to hold myself accountable. And if it could help one person, I was all about it. But if you go and you look at those before and after pictures of the 5-day results, look in my jaw. The inflammation that came off of my face, I was like, what in the world? So that really helped me a ton. And now I feel so much better. Even, I started on Monday and it ended on Friday. And then I went through the weekend and I just kind of relaxed. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to relax. Before coming off of something like that, I would have been really bad. I didn't have any desire to be really bad. And when I ate a couple of things that weren't great, I didn't really eat enough of it to feel bad about it. And the way that my body responded to it was so different. It was like the 5-day drop just completely reset me in so many ways. And now it's super receptive to all of the nutrients that I'm putting in my body now.
Exactly. And this is the thing as well, we're in business actually helping people, but we also need to make sure that we're helping ourselves. And I think sometimes, especially as women, I don't know, I can't speak on behalf of guys, but we always put other people before ourselves. And then we're like, no, and especially within this month, and guys, we're in November and the seasons are changing, and we need to make sure that we're filling our bodies with enough nutrients so actually we can show up in the best way. Because when we show up in the best way and we take people on our journey, this is the easiest way, isn't it? And Holly, you did an amazing job. I was stalking your profile and looking through your posts and things and how you executed and kind of went and took people on your journey within 5 days. It's just 5 days as well that you could, if you're sitting on the fence now, maybe your business is a little bit flat and you think, I need to breathe new energy into it, go and stalk on Holly's page because she nailed it with how to actually take people on that 5-day journey, bring in new customers in an authentic way, get the results herself, feel great, so then she can continue to do that as well. So, Holly, Black Friday, talk to me. What's your plans? What are you working on right now in the background? Any advice that we can give the listeners that can really help them this month?
Yeah, for sure. So, number one, thoughts are things. And that's something else that I got back when I was in Modere 2020, Michelle Barnes threw out this challenge. Earl Nightingale. Pull him up on YouTube. Look up The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. He throws out a 30-day test, and I challenge everybody to do that. Get your head right where it needs to be, because thoughts are things, and how you think is going to affect everything after that. No matter what you're thinking, you can be talking to people and saying the best things to people and have the best energy and the best of everything and look the part. But if the middle of you believes a certain thing, if your head, in the back of your head, you believe, okay, this is for me, but this might not be for them. Like, I saw the good in this, but maybe they're not going to see it. Like, maybe they're going to think, oh, gosh, this is another one of those MLM things. Oh, my goodness. You're thinking that in the back of your head, but you're spitting out all of the right language and verbiage. All they hear is your belief. All they hear is your energy that's coming from the middle of you. So you've got to get your head right, and that's what I've been working on. Oh, gosh, probably like a month before I came back in, I was listening to that Earl Nightingale. Day and night, I was listening to it. It's only about 30 minutes, but it's incredible how we really have to take control of our thoughts, because once we take control of our thoughts, everything starts to change. Your belief system will start to change, and my belief system started changing, and it still is to this day. It's like I'm constantly working on it, but thoughts are things, and that's what I'm doing. Number one thing that I do every day is I work on, like, the inside work, my thoughts, my belief system, and I got that straightened out. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm just following the system. The system has already been created. It's incredible. It works. It's simple. It's super easy to do. I'm just following the system. I'm plugging into the system. And then also the other thing that I do that I've been telling everybody to do is bookend your days. Have a morning and an evening routine and have a plan. Like, get yourself a plan together. Get organized to where you're organizing, your whole day. You're going to have, there's certain things, like there's key things that you do in the morning and there's key things that you do in the evening, and then work your day in the middle of that. But bookend your day. Have a plan and bookend your day with, like your non-negotiables. That way during the day, as you move from each task, you're looking forward to the next task and you know where you're going. So your day doesn't just completely take you and run with you.
Exactly, like a job. Like, we do this in a job, don't we? Mm-hmm. And then we become so in business, get all the skills.
Absolutely. And I yeah, go ahead.
No, over to you. It was your tips, your knowledge, your expertise. I can't wait to see you soar as we go into this crazy retail season, help so many people with such an amazing story, because there are many, many people out there really struggling with perimenopause, menopause, all the things.
Yeah.
So amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out of the day to come and share your story. It's an absolute pleasure. We should totally do some more collaborations and things in the future as well. It'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just really think it's about taking care of yourself and loving people while you're doing it. And I think that if you just love people and you listen to them and you really care about them, you can help guide them to what they're needing. But truly, it's just about loving people, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, is, getting my own thoughts right, plugging into the system, bookending my day, keeping things planned, and just loving on people, really. Yeah.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you very, very much for your time. It's been amazing.
Oh, thank you.